Do you often look at your bank account balance and wonder where all of your money has gone? Are you living paycheck to paycheck? Do you ever feel like money is controlling your life, rather than the other way around? If you have answered yes to any of these questions, chances are you're falling victim to a number of money traps. But don't worry, the pitfalls discussed in this video are very common, and most people will be able to relate to at least one of them. In this video, I'll discuss what I think are the top 9 money traps to avoid, as well as giving you some handy solutions to sidestep them, so that you'll be able to hold on to more of your hard-earned cash. Money traps can be a major obstacle to achieving financial freedom and building wealth. We all want to have spare cash available to invest, get on the property ladder, or simply ease our money worries. But we often find ourselves unsuspectingly falling into money traps. So what exactly is a money trap? A money trap is a situation, product, or service that lures individuals into spending more money than they intended, or that is not in their best interests. They are the bad habits and financial mistakes that people often make over and over again, often without even realizing it. I can definitely relate to some of these mistakes that I'm about to discuss. But the good news is that by recognizing these traps and taking steps to avoid them, they can be easily averted, which will mean more cash available for your savings and investing goals. Money trap number 1. Boastful spending. Have you ever heard of the phrase, keeping up with the Joneses? It's a popular saying that refers to the act of trying to maintain or exceed the social and financial status of your friends, neighbours or colleagues. This could be things like purchasing expensive items in order to appear successful, or living in a particular neighbourhood, or driving a certain type of car to impress others. However, trying to keep up with the Joneses can be a huge money trap, as it often leads to excessive spending on material possessions that you don't actually need, often getting into large amounts of debt to make the purchase in the first place. So how can we avoid this particular trap? As individuals, we need to focus on our own financial goals and priorities, rather than trying to keep up with others. It's also important to remember that appearances can be deceiving, and that many people who seem to be living lavish lifestyles may be deep in debt or struggling to make ends meet. Focus on your own mission. Remember, spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. Money trap number 2. Aimless expenses. I see this next scenario quite a lot, and you might have seen it yourself. It's a conversation I've witnessed in the workplace many times, that goes something like this. What are you doing at the weekend? I'm just going to go and do a bit of shopping. Oh, what are you looking for? I don't know, I'm just going to go and have a browse. To me, what this translates to is, I don't really need anything, but I'll potentially put myself in a situation where I'll do some impulsive and unnecessary spending. By going shopping without a specific item in mind, you'll be more susceptible to making purchases based on emotion or temptation, rather than need or value. So what can we do? To avoid this money trap, it's important to be intentional with shopping trips and to plan ahead. A good idea is to always make a shopping list of the necessary items. Do your research before you're at the shops so that you're happy with what you're buying, and generally be mindful of the potential for impulse buys. Money trap number 3. Relying too heavily on credit cards. While credit cards can be a useful tool for building credit and earning rewards, they can also make it easy to overspend and accumulate high-interest debt. Relying too heavily on credit cards can be a dangerous money trap, as they often have high fees and interest rates, which can make it difficult to pay them back on time. This can lead to a cycle of debt that is hard to break free from. So what action can we take to help? It's quite a simple solution, but to avoid this money trap, use credit cards responsibly, and only for purchases that you can afford to pay off in full each month. For example, if you need a new washing machine and can't afford £300 in full for a new one, but you could afford £30 a month over the next 10 months, then it makes sense. You could also look to see if you could switch to a lower interest credit card, or one with a 0% balance transfer for a period of time. And it's also important to make payments on time, to avoid any late fees and additional interest charges. Money trap number 4, not investing. I'm going to break this down into 2 parts: investing in assets and investing in yourself. Not investing in assets means that you aren't using your money to generate more money. Investing in assets could mean buying stocks, bonds, real estate, or starting or buying a business. Assets hold a monetary value and can create future financial benefits, such as generating income or being able to sell at a profit. If you don't invest in assets, then chances are that your money is just sitting idle, earning little to no interest in a savings account and not providing any additional income or growth potential. The other part of investing is investing in yourself. This means using your money to improve your skills, knowledge, and overall well-being. This can include things like taking courses or buying books to learn a new skill or subject, networking with like-minded individuals, or investing in your health by eating the right food and having a gym membership. Investing in yourself can pay off in many ways. By improving your skills and knowledge, you may be able to earn more money in your current job, start a new career, or even begin that side business that you always talked about. Networking with like-minded individuals can open up new opportunities and help you to grow both professionally and personally. And investing in your physical and mental health can lead to a longer, happier, and more fulfilling life. Money trap number 5, focusing on cutting costs rather than increasing income. Another money trap that people often fall into is focusing too much on cutting costs, rather than trying to increase their income. At some point you will hit a floor, where you just won't be able to cut costs any further, whereas your earning potential is unlimited. Of course, it's important to live within your means and keep your expenses under control, but to take your finances to the next level, it's also important to think about ways to increase your income. This can include things like taking on a side job, negotiating a raise at work, or starting a side business. Money trap number 6, focusing on the short term instead of long-term growth. This next money trap comes from a conversation that I had with a friend. He was asking me about the rental properties that I own and how I got started. I explained that I would simply allocate a portion of my salary each month into saving a deposit, and that it took me around 7 years. He said that 7 years is a long time, and then went on to say that he doesn't have any money left over at the end of each month, as he just tends to spend it all. We spoke some more, and he knew where he was going wrong. The overpriced clothes, the frequent nights out, the expensive car, the luxury apartment, but his focus was purely on the here and now, rather than looking ahead. Many people do fall into the habit of spending all of their money as soon as they receive it, without thinking about the future. While it can be tempting to indulge in instant gratification and live for the moment, this will obviously have negative consequences for your long-term financial health. So I think it's important to strike a balance between enjoying the present and thinking ahead into the distance. I think that the best way to do this is to have achievable goals and an actionable plan to reach them. Even something as simple as a payday percentage split can really help this. For example, 50% on needs, 20% on wants, and 30% on investments, or whatever suits your personal situation. Money trap number 7, falling for get-rich quick schemes. We've all seen the rise in fake gurus that promise untold riches with little to no effort. Unfortunately, the old saying rings true. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. While it's tempting to believe that there is an easy way to make a fortune, the reality is that building wealth takes time, effort, and a solid strategy. Most get-rich-quick schemes rely on shady marketing tactics, exaggerated claims, and promises of quick profits to lure people in. In reality, the people selling these schemes are making more money from these sales than they are from what they claim to be an expert in. Something I always think of when I see these claims is that if I found a way to make £100,000 a month, I wouldn't be selling The Secret on a £500 course or a £50 PDF. To avoid falling for these money traps, it's important to be skeptical of any offers that promise easy money. Money trap number 8, Overspending on housing. Overspending on housing can be a significant money trap. While I think that it's important to have a comfortable place to live, spending too much on housing can leave you with little room in your budget for other important expenses, such as savings, debt repayment, or investments. To avoid this money trap, consider setting a realistic housing budget based on your income and other expenses, and look for ways to save on housing costs, such as by downsizing, living with roommates, renting out a room, or moving to a more affordable area. The general rule of thumb is that your housing expenses should ideally be no more than 30% of your income. Money trap number 9. Not being mindful of small expenses that add up over time. One of the most common money traps that people fall into is not being mindful of those little payments that accumulate over time. This can include things like that daily coffee in the morning, eating out at lunch, or reoccurring subscriptions. While each of these expenses may seem small on their own, they can quickly add up over time and eat away at your overall budget. To avoid falling into this trap, it's important to be mindful of your spending habits and to track your expenses. You could also consider using budgeting tools and apps to help you to track your expenses more easily and see where you might need to cut back. Avoiding money traps is crucial for a healthy financial future, and I'm interested to know, how many of these traps have you fallen into, and are there any that I might have missed? Let me know in the comments section below. One thing I will say is, don't feel too bad if you have fallen into some of these traps, as you're definitely not alone. But by recognising these common pitfalls, you can be more conscious of avoiding them, which will hopefully help you to take control of your finances and set yourself onto a better financial path. I hope that you found this video interesting and informative, and I hope that it's given you inspiration and ideas for your own personal finances. If you have enjoyed the video, please drop me a like and subscribe to the channel to make sure that you don't miss any future videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.